So, hello. Today, very interesting task for Nefertiti. Face, person, very difficult, uneasy, but we like challenges, don't we? So, as usually, let's start with composition. And I would say composition here is actually easier to start because we have this head that is kind of cut off with a border. So we start with those outlines, and then we reach the space where we need to fit our face, and then we can do the So let's take a look. So here at the border, I have like this little part of head. And then I can check also how this diagonal is going. Yeah, so I can move it to my, When you do the sketch with pencil, feel free to move a lot your pencil. Let it find this line, because it's very hard to find it with one stroke. Move it around, feel it, and then you will have them. So where the head is starting, what you can do first, always a little bit with the feeling, like, okay, I feel maybe it's kind of middle of the page, maybe a bit less. Later, you might want to correct it, and it's fine. Correction especially in drawing portraits, is just like a part of it. Don't feel that, oh, I did it wrong, I need to correct. This is all very, very, So let's start just with this, with the head, because it will give us, of course, very nice, all these points, where we need to, you see, even now here, like with my marker, although I try to like reach almost one line, still, of course, it's inevitable that I move my pencil. So then this is some beauty thing, like very sketchy. Doesn't really like when you start your drawing, then first the important task is that it fits nicely on your paper. This is all what you need to think about at the start. And then once you say, okay, it's there, I'm happy, everything is fitting, it doesn't look too small, it doesn't look too big, then you already start precising. Then you start the beauty part. And then of course we can see the main lines, the main directions. Let's say where her chin is going to the neck. So in those ancient Egypt times, the symbol of the beauty was being very skinny, having the neck like this long, tall, like swan neck. The shoulders, the hips would be also like very skinny, as almost like boy type. So not like later, let's say the beauty standards change, and let's say in Renaissance, then we get the opposite. We get the women with the big breasts and big hips, and seeing the bone would be the ugly part. So here is the opposite. And here is actually maybe even easier in the drawing story, because you have the lines. Here we have like one really cool line, of this like the chin and the side, huh? So of course, try to get those lines at their place. And here, remember, of course, using our standard and classical measuring technique, that any point you can correct and like check where it is, like both checking where it lives vertically, where it lives horizontally. Yeah, so for example, so where my chin is ending, and I'm drawing the vertical line up, and I see, okay, it's touching the end of nose. Yeah, but it's more, of course, inside. So I have almost the whole eye on the other side. Yeah, and so on. And I mean, of course, I can also check with the head, but then it's also a question, how precise is your head? So then it's also always advisable to check your points at least twice, you know, especially those important points. Because, you know, if you check it just with one comparison, then yeah, it might get wrong, but if you check it like twice, then you already get closer. Yeah, and it's in portraits, it's always this checking, this fighting for similarity. Yeah, and you get it with practice, you know. So if it's your first time drawing a portrait, like don't be strict on yourself. Yeah, it's especially we have just 2-hour lesson, and it's normally you could spend like 6-8 hours doing some portrait. So just try to have fun. Yeah, for example, always good also to check like where the nose is ending in comparison, maybe, okay, with the ear. Yeah, tick, 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 tick. Yeah, so somewhere here. The ear is actually like very tricky thing. It always needs checking. Let's say here, Nefertiti, she holds her head straight. It means then the ear is more or less like classical, yeah, where it starts, where it starts maybe where the, even lower than the eyebrows. It means she has her chin a bit up. And you can check it with yourself. You can even do it like touch your ears, like hold your head straight, touch your ears, and move the horizontal line. Yeah, and you see, let's say, I have my ears ending together with the eyebrows. Yeah, and the other side of ear, I have, let's say, where the mouth is. But now, if you, let's say, will look really up, yeah, your chin is very up. Check now where like each end of your ear lives. Now the upper part lives where my nose is, and the end of the ear lives like under the lips. So ears are always those tricky things. So don't be ashamed and just like really draw this line and see where it lives, because it gives this feeling of, yeah, where it's situated. And so, yeah. So and then we also have her face is turned like in, yeah, it calls like 3/4. Yeah, so she's not looking straight at us. She's, and then of course the eye, yeah, that is more far away from us, it's smaller, we see less of it, we see much less of the whole part of the face. And Yeah, so this is also like to take in consideration. Yeah. What also helps to do when you do all the face story is that don't think I'm drawing an eye, don't think I'm drawing a nose. Think about all this story as lights and shadows thing. Yeah? Like once you get like in viewing in this way, it will become more easier to, yeah, because then you're not concentrated on. It's good to know all the bones, of course, yeah, and then we also see the eyebrows, and we see the eyebrows, they're not going just in one surface, they also turn. There is frontal, there is side surface, and it all has explanation from inside. Yeah, because just all our bones are going this way. Yeah? But let's say the tricky thing, like to skip this anatomical part, then you just kind of play with light and shadow. So what's important to you is just where one shadow starts, where another shadow ends. And then also, of course, it's important how intense is the shadow. And one more thing is if the shadow is ending in a very strict line or it's ending in a fluffy line. So this would be more or less like those parameters you yeah. So for example, now I'm checking where the end of mouth, where we see all this kind of shadow connection is, it's ending, and I draw the straight line, and it's like touching one part of the eye. Yeah, so I try to find the so for example, in the end of this lesson, it would be not that important that she looks one-to-one to the Nefertiti of this picture, but it would be more important that you get understanding of the shadows, yeah, their meaning. So let's say it's also like classical shadow situations that the upper part of the eye is mostly always darker than the lower part of eye, just because the sun is on top and it's shining on us. The same happens with the lips. We have two lips. Upper lip is always with more shadow. Lower lip is always with more light. Here in Nefertiti, you can also see this. Yeah, so of course it's sculpture, but they did some lamp lighting for it. From up we see, yes, this is just natural. We always have the shadow under the nose. Yes, and this is why when we do those Halloween tricks by putting this lamp under our chin, and that's why it looks scary, because it's so unused to our brains that the light comes from the bottom. Because we are get used to that. Light is from top, and we have the shadow under the nose, and not the opposite. That the bottom of our nose is with light, and the shadow goes on top. So, and then the story about this softness or hardness of the lines of the shadow is then. There is also pretty not complicated rules to remember. So imagine when there is and there is no object. So let's say I have my nose. And then of course on my 2D paper, I draw it all in one surface. But in real life, I have nose, then I have some ear, some space behind, and then the cheek comes. Then of course, this line here where the nose is ending and there is no more nose, I can draw like pretty much sure with a more harder line. But let's say the same nose and it's changing its shape. And so here I'm a bit zoomed in. So light coming from top, I have this side of my nose in light. The shape of the nose is starting to make the curve. And there I have a very soft change. I don't make one hard line. I go really blending in and out, like, yeah. So, because like this, I can show it has a curve, that's the shape, the nose continues, and it takes maybe even like half centimeter. So it takes space on my page, yeah, doing this. So one can like, and let's say, how can I know where which line is? The nature of the object is telling you this, yeah? The same here with this chin, yeah? So even she's very skinny and this line actually looks like very, yeah? Here is light on a frontal part of face. Here is lots of shadow at the bottom, but still, even here on this picture, I can see this transition. There is some grayness, there is some transition from light, grayish, and then it goes dark, yeah? In the end, also when practicing, you already kind of learn, yeah? So the same, like some parts are always like this, and some parts always have yeah, in the ear also, like here, I have this part of the ear, and then it just ends. The body ends, then it's space. So of course here I have very strict shapy line, very dark, and then inside it already goes a bit more fading and so on. And like when you learn to see it, and when you also start showing it on your drawings, then the drawings just becomes more professional, and yeah, they're easier for the viewer to read. And so her eyes, of course, are very, very dark. Yeah, it's also like so there is some kind of dark eyeball, but of course it doesn't have to go really out. It is just pretty much, yeah. So there is some lightness. Also here, you see, there's even second line, because the light here on this Nefertiti sculpture is coming somehow from right side up and right. So something like this direction, we can see it, yeah? Because this right part has much more light. We can see on this part of the forehead and the cheek, and there also the eye. You can see this little line of the light on this eye that is smaller, the eye that is more far away. Here we can see this little stroke, and it's so important. Like, just don't skip it, show it, and then you get all the feeling from yeah, how she's done. So yeah, feel free, of course, to send me the because we're not doing so often people, yeah, bodies, faces, heads. So this is something very new, and yeah. But if you feel fine, then yeah. So here, what I did, of course, like not so precise. Yeah, we will, like, once we get to the pencils, we keep on precising, and but more or less, of course, it should be, let's say, those general proportions should be look fine. Yeah. Here's some WhatsApp. It's Darren. So, Darren. Yeah, not bad at all. Very not bad. Yeah, let's analyze. So she looks nice. Like maybe, let's say, I will get back now to real, because what I maybe think, like the point you could check, for example, is where your the end of her chin. Yeah, because I feel maybe in your drawing it's a little bit too to the right, so a little bit too outside. So maybe you want to do a little bit this diagonal line from cheek to inside to the chin, maybe a bit more, just harder this diagonal. And now if I draw this diagonal up, it's touching my nose, and it's even in the middle of this faraway eye. And then I get back to your drawing. Yeah, and if I do it on your drawing, then it's more outside. Yeah. So maybe just, it means, of course, then you kind of maybe cut your lips a bit, but it's also fine. Don't be scared, don't be lazy to correct. Yeah. I mean, it also always, yeah, it just, of course, it takes time fighting for this, but already she looks nice. Let me think. I have some feeling with also very nice trick to do with is the direction of the eyes. So let's say again, I take my pencil and I connect the eye points, and then I see how my pencil is. It's going up, it's going straight, it's going a bit down. So in her case, the eyes, connecting bigger one, smaller, the line goes a little bit down. And in your Darren picture, I feel it goes a little bit too straight, or even up.
It's actually going up because of the angle of that photograph. It's actually slightly up.
I got it. Okay, then I take my words back. You have the other interpretation, like another raccource, another point of view of her. So then, I mean, the eyes can go like this, and it's totally normal. She just, so don't have to correct it. That's all good. Just for you also just to remember all these little tips and tricks how to make the face. So it's, again, I can check the direction connecting two eyebrows. And then we those lines. For example, her, in my picture, her chin is going up, her lips are going more or less straight, the eyes are going a bit down, the eyebrows going even more down. So of course,
I think I might try and move my eye close to the ear. I might try and just redo that and just move up slightly, I think.
Yeah.
So down. Looking at it again, it's slightly out there, I think. So
but still good job. I also like how you, Darren, straight away mark the shadows. This is, let's say, already the second level. So, and it's very helpful if you draw with a pencil, and straight away you see, here under the ear I have shadow, and just quickly maybe not even like precising perfectly the shape of this ear, but just giving this tone. The same lips, you did the lower lip, there is shadow under the lip, and straight away go. So check also maybe a bit your nose. So this end of the nose, so there also will be definitely the shadow, but then again, since your eyes going up, then this shadow probably will look a bit different. Also the direction, of the nose shadow will look maybe a bit up, but cool. Not sure scenario, yeah, check it if you can send through your mom's phone or somehow if you want to. So it's not a must. If you feel fine with this drawing, just continue. If you wish some advice, then just try to get your drawing photo through WhatsApp. And yeah, and also suggestion, like a bit on purpose, make her a bit more skinny. Yeah, we will be a little bit like those Photoshop people who even already skin models, they make them even more skinny for those magazines. Because first of all, she is, yeah, like this way. So as an artist, we emphasize this essence, and the essence of her, that all her lines are exactly so skin and thin and precise. So we don't make her as a Renaissance lady. Yeah, some other day we can do the Renaissance girls. And then the opposite, will be emphasizing that her body is more round and so on. Yeah. So in those, so let's say, for example, it also works when I do the head. On purpose, I don't put head, so where the blue head is ending, then we have these a bit, some pale beige part of the head, and then the face. All those three lines, I do somehow one on top of the other. So even if it's not maybe realistically like this, but I still show that the head goes a bit up. This middle layer also goes a bit up the skin. Yeah, this is just those artistical tricks that help us to give forward those feelings of, yeah. All right. Yeah, so feel free to check, we check your drawings. Of course, here, I mean, one could spend 3 lessons in a row just sketching, precising her face and so on. So what do you have opinion or wishes? Would you like to start with pencils and then the head, or the opposite? Would you start with the colorful head with paints and then move to the face?
I've got no preference personally, so I'm
Okay.
easy to go with what you think.
Good. Yeah. I was just asking in case.
I'm just correcting that eye at the moment.
In case you have the feeling, yeah. For example, also with the head, yeah. So those little shadows, they also help us. Let's say here the shadow goes on this curvy line, then it stops. There is no more shadow because the light is coming from up and right side, and then the shadow starts only here already at the bottom. Yeah, remember, shadows help us show the shape. Yeah, so when you draw those shadows where they are not, yeah, so if you make them too much or you forget some shadows, it gives us just it gives the viewer the error feeling of what's in there. Yeah, so remember, don't look at her as Nefertiti, look at her as light and shadow spots. Yeah, this will make everything much easier. Okay, let's start with pencils. Let's start with the face, because it's complicated part. Still, we are more or less a bit fresh. we'll make a break. We will move to the head to rest. And then we can already come back to the face to precise some accents and some moments, yeah? And actually, I will start the face just with, not with colorful pencil. I will try to work with those. I mean, you can also make your face just black and white. Let's say you have your pencils and you can work just leave it in black and white, the face. So just showing where is the light, where is the shadow. There is shadows where are the eyes, there are strict shadows, there are soft edged shadows, and that's it. I don't really have to make your face suntanned. Yeah? Also, we haven't been painting a lot, actually nothing with just with pencils. Not sure if you're familiar, but I will just very quickly recap. So all pencils have, of course, some number. Yeah, here, let's say I have 7B, 9B, 4B, 6B, 3H, and HB. Yeah. There is no big signs. HB is the middle. It connects H and B. So yeah, hard and, I don't know what says, bold or something. So hard and soft pencils. So in hard ones, I usually have just one, let's say 3H or 2H. And this pencil is very good for some parts like forehead or somewhere where I need to make the difference, but not very strong, because this pencil is very light. It even can scratch the paper a bit. It's very hard. And then we move on. You can have 2B, 4B, 6B, yes. And each higher number gives the softness. So 9B means I can very easily draw the shadow under the nose, because it's very dark, very intense. And I will never be able to make it with this H pencil, 3H, because it's too hard. Yeah, you will see it all now. So if you have now just one pencil, let's say HB, that's fine. You'll be just need to maybe press it softer or harder. So actually, I don't need to have 10 pencils. I can have maybe 2 or 3, because it also matters how I touch the paper. I can touch very lightly, and I can make more harder. Yeah. So let's just like Darren's painting already saw. He already started with making those shadows in the part of eye, the lips and everything. Another very quick recap. So I don't sharpen my pencils with this sharpener. I use the knife. And why I do this? Because I'm looking forward to get this side a bit also more like slim and shaped, because when I move my pencil in this horizontal way, yeah, it's getting in a way. So here you can see this pencil wasn't sharp. It was just like this original short thing. And then it bothers this border. Sometimes it bothers. Yeah. So of course, let's say just kind of making this a bit longer. And then you can also actually like work a bit on this graphite part. So this dark part. Yeah, you can also shape it a bit in a different way. So here I remove a bit more of this wood. I make my pencil a bit more this kind of slimmer, longer. This will just, so here I should a bit closer, it's longer. It's just easier to move because especially when you do, let's say you can hold your pencil very close to the end. It's where I need like some little details. But sometimes I need to hold it at the back, so then I can have these longer movements. And in this case, this part helps because it doesn't interfere with the paper. Yeah? So what we do, let's just work out on main shadows of the face. Yeah. So I already take kind of very soft pencil. It's 4B. Yeah, maybe in a moment I'll need maybe a bit more lighter. And then I just start, let's say, precising. Yeah. So what we did till now, we worked on finding the right position for the all the elements. And now we just start doing a little bit more like precision. So it's still the part of correcting. You can still already, like, you can still move a little bit if you feel, okay, your eye is too low or too high. Yeah, with this thickness of the line, you can, but we already add the element of already the darkness. Huh? So, and with the eyes is like this. So, and now I'm not making like very very big, let's say. So I'm not doing too dark at once. What my aim is now is just to separate the light and dark areas. But later in the process, I will be getting back to some main dark areas. Because this is just how it works. I can't make it straight away too dark. I mean, there are some professionals who can already with the first stroke define the right darkness that there will be in. But normal and usual way is just growing it on top. Yeah, so I make some parts darker and then I start seeing and analyzing, okay, which parts need to be a bit more dark. So what's your task for now is where you see shadows, you just cover them. Forehead, always much more softer. Yeah, always like, it's not as contrast as the eyes or the shadow under the nose. It's always a bit more, it's important to show shadows on the forehead, but they're always a bit more. Yeah. And then we remember also what I was telling you about this story. There is object, there is no object. So meaning where I draw my line. Very strict, like one line. And in which part I try to blend it. I can move a bit to my head as well. So even if decided, we probably make it in color, but I can also play maybe a bit with the shadows. Yeah, the ear, of course, the ear has like really lots of story going on. It's yeah, and here again in the same part of the ear you can see. So it starts with the white. Yeah, the light is falling there. Then no, the ear is ending. I have a very strict dark line. Then I have the shadow. Then the same shadows is going then softly out because it's continuing on the part of ear. Then comes in again the light part. Then the ear is turning. Again, this darker shadow, but it's still a bit like, yeah, floating. It's not ending and starting. So ear always has this yeah. And there is also side of the ear and lots of story. Yeah. And again, please don't feel discouraged or this is complicated stuff. Yeah. So in this art school where I was going, I remember the teacher was telling us that she had a student. There is also a woman in already in her age. Yeah, she came to learn to draw, and she said, I don't really need all these cubes and shapes, all these heads and these hands and those. Let's. All I want to draw is flowers. And so the teacher answered like, if you learn this technique, if you learn how to paint the head of the person, later you can paint anything. So like the head is considered to be one of the most difficult things to paint. So if you practice and reach the mastery in this, then later doesn't matter if you draw the table or if you draw a car, or you'll be already skilled enough. Yeah, and then that's what the woman did. She went all the course, and then she went home and she did paintings of flowers, but then yeah, and remember, you can see how beautiful actually exactly this, how the light is falling. And it's very interesting. It's falling on this side that is more far away from us. Yeah, so you can see it's falling on the one part of the eye. Yeah, we see this light, and also on the forehead. Yeah, it has this strong light, and it's a very interesting trick because like it's more far away from us, but the accent is there, and this gives an interesting, because of course usually one tries to give more accent on what is closer to us, but it doesn't mean it can be different. And also on the nose we see also pretty much a bit unusual. Yeah, then we have one line that kind of tells, okay, here the nose is over, and they're already starting the eye story. Yeah, but then we have a very thin light on the nose, and then we go again with some shadow. Yeah. So doing all these light and shadow stories, it's again always comparing one thing with another. It's yes, and then with the outline of the face going into the background. Yeah, then also try to feel, don't make one even outline, try to feel where it's more characteristical, yeah, where it's more like has more meaning. So somewhere you can just kind of fade a bit out. In drawing all this stuff with pencils, also what you do with your eraser, a bit similar. So you also take knife, and it's very good. Don't be afraid, just kind of cut it. What you need is a sharp edge on your eraser. So here I've used the knife, I've cut it. And what it means now, I can get into some small parts, let's say like the eye. Yeah, so especially this light on the under part of the eye I was talking about. And so sometimes, I mean, not some, it's like very often you need to clean your lights. It means that it's normal when you draw, drawing gets a bit dirty, both like with the touch of your hands. Yeah, so cleaning up the lights, this is something like you just do from time to time with your drawing. And but then it's again important, you just kind of at the start you decide where are your main lights, and then you just take care of them, you clean them. And in drawing with pencil, the same story works, I would say, even more important than I try emphasize when we draw with colors, this story of uniting. Yeah, so don't draw your shadow separately. Don't make some eyeball of your eye separately. Draw it all together. Yeah, it comes together with the shadow, and yeah, just don't be afraid and kind of connect your shadows. And yeah, so now I'm looking and I feel one of my eyes has shifted a bit down. Yeah, and here again, all this story with millimeters is really like making sense. Yeah? Don't rush, don't try to kind of, get it all in once, just step by step. Yeah, and believe it, to some areas you'll be coming back and back again. And it's normal, yeah, especially those important parts like eyes. Yeah, not easy at all. So yeah, Darren, feel free to send your updates more often. Yeah, just let me know so I can let me know to check the phone. Yeah, this is something. So you have to blame the school program because we've started with ancient Greece and ancient Egypt for the ninth grades. So I want to make them the task to find those beauty standards in through all the history, let's say. Yeah, it's also interesting how the Middle Times work. Yeah, so there, let's say the Saint Maria is, let's say, the standard. She needs to be very what's the word? Yes, of course, she's not showing the body. She's it's all more hidden. Then there go later times where it was very, of course, important that your face is very pale. So very lots of people were kind of using some stuff to make your face white, looking like a ghost. And then, but it's funny because how all this stuff is changing. And it's a little bit just like you get bored with one, you take the opposite. Yeah, then the opposite is trendy. Then some years pass, everyone is bored with this. Then let's go back to some, again, being thin. Yeah, so in some moments of years, it was cool to be thin. Then the opposite, if you're thin, it means you're, I don't know, sick, you can't have babies, and then it means you're not popular. Girls with the bigger hips would be more popular, and yeah, so. And then of course it's also good for teenagers to analyze what's this all the meaning of. And of course I tried to end the lesson that the inner beauty is the most important that one should pay attention to. Yeah, know what's the meaning going out with physically, let's say, beautiful person if the person is mean or it's not good to you. Yeah, so of course the inner beauty is but as part of history, yeah, we study those. Yeah, it's just because a little bit like also shows a bit about the values of, yeah. So Middle Times, it was exactly when the Roman Empire was over and the Christianity started its story. So then, of course, all these also religious moments. Yeah, so it just like understanding helps like how this or the other part of like the way of thinking was, what were the values of those. Yeah, take a look also the lip. The lip also very beautiful. It has the same very bright light. So light comes from right side and face, and showing this light, yeah, if you manage, it's not easy. Probably I will also be going back, cleaning a lot those important lights, but we see there like the photography is very cool. It has these strong accents of those light spots. Yeah, and it also happens to me. So now I'm also a bit correcting this side of the face, it means my lips also are getting a bit close, a bit smaller. And it's fine. Changing and moving stuff while you paint your face. It's just inevitable. And then, of course, then it's also tendency how detailed you can see. Yes, and here in comes again the same story that I repeat. Yeah, that when we paint, when we draw, it's always jumping in between the detailing to general altogether. Yeah. And all together is more important. So it's important to work on your details. Yeah, you take your time and you spend some time on your chin, you spend some time on your lips. You see there are like lots of different shadows. Here is a bit darker, there is again a bit lighter, and I can do like a very nice detailed drawing on that. But then later, it's important to see it again all together and unite your shadows so they're not separate. And because you can do a really cool detailed drawing, but if in all together story it looks somehow separate, it's jumping out, it's not, then your drawing will not be successful. It's so those so we kind of jump. Of course we work on the details because it makes our drawing more professional, more detailed, nicer, and so on. But remember to look it all together and so, for example, at this moment, I'm not really changing my pencil. I keep on drawing with 4B, even if it's a bit too soft for some areas. But I kind of, I can just control and then I touch it a bit more softer. Yeah, where it's needed. When you learn, it's normal. You have different pencils, and then you can control. Yeah, so this is, for example, when we already if we move from nose, lips, and eyes, we move to the cheeks. We see there are no such big contrasts. And that's why there will be more staying on safe side, you take those H pencils, because then I can show the difference, but it's not so strong. Another very good tip about using your eraser, very often you don't really move it. It's more you kind of just tap it. So if I see my part of the cheek or some area got too dark, what I do is just I tap in this area and that's it. Yeah, I remove some darkness. So I change the tone. Yeah? And again, I repeat, the tone means how dark or how light is some area. Huh? So I can change the tone, make it lighter, not so intense, but I don't make the dirt, yeah, because often if I have too soft pencil and then I go with eraser, then I can make it very, very yeah. For example, I see Darren is kind of sitting back reviewing. I also suggest for you to check, for example, very interesting always this under the chin part. And the trick there is to show reflection. And what reflection is, it means inside the shadow, there is some lighter part. Yeah, so I have my light area of face, then I have this change, then I have this first shadow, and then inside the chin, there is some reflection from the light. So the light, there is maybe the lamp that is falling on our sculpture, and then the light of the lamp is hitting the table, the surface, and it gives light back to this chin. So there inside the shadow, there is this a bit lighter part. Yeah, so, but it's also a bit tricky, so you can't make it too light. Yeah, but if you manage to feel it, if you manage to show it just at once, your drawing becomes more realistic, yeah, somehow. So maybe here I've tried to show it a bit. Okay, we're really spending lots of time on pencil drawing, but I mean, I'm sure we're gonna do the head with gouache very quick, but it's very, it's totally new for us. I really feel sorry, Karen and Louise are not here because I would be I will make them to watch the recording and do the yeah, the home task, because I think that because of course what we usually do, we do the painting, but actually in the painting it's almost 80% are these drawing stories. So like once you have them, once you know them, you practice, then also your color paintings, they become better. Yeah, because you have then this base of yeah. So okay, I will work very, very quickly a bit more on some extra. So here, let's say I'm already started playing. So I have soft pencil, then I have 3H, and let's say I have this nose area. It looks all very light, but I see there is still some areas a bit more shadowy. And what defines that some area is a bit more shadowy than the other? It's the shape. Yeah, so the face starts turning, there are some bones, so they are not on one surface anymore. It means that one part gets a bit more dark than the other, and I just look which one. So it doesn't mean it's never, like it's not the same always. Yeah? So it's the same as Darren said, no, I have my eyes different angle. So the same, yeah, I have another light source of light. It's from the other point. then straight away I get different dose. And here again, the same as in the story, use this trying to close your eyes technique. This works very well, especially in those lights and shadows. Yeah, so I close my eyes, such a contrasty face here on my photograph. Yeah, I close my eyes and I see what's all together, and then I move my eyes the same to my object, to my drawing. And also the lips, for example, I see there is one light on the border of the lips, but then the rest actually is in shadow. And for this I use harder pencil, because with soft pencil that would be a bit too much. Yeah, but I need to. Yeah, and I mean, you can work on and play there like really a lot. The lips also, let's say, the lips are red. So even those parts of the lips that have light, it will be a bit more darker, because then it's the color. It's a very cool task. So if Darren says, I liked experimenting with pencils, we can do this exercise. You put in front of you 2 apples. You put one red and one yellow. And then you try to draw them with pencils. So just black and white. But so it feels that one apple is red and one is yellow. Yeah. So actually with intensity, how you use your pencil, you can also retell a bit the color of the object. Yeah? Okay, I think we can make a little break. I mean, I also have lots of what I would like and continue to work on my face, but just to continue and also maybe make a little break from this, we can do the head. And then we decide actually, maybe we don't do the color pencils. Maybe we just leave also black and white. It also looks nice. Yeah, why not? I tell this, but of course I continue correcting some stuff. Okay. Darren is not sending me anything yet.
Right, I actually went a bit rebel. I've actually started using colored pencils already, so
Okay, yeah.
Just using black and white, so I'll just take a shot of it so you can see.
Sure. I mean, it's all voluntary, huh? So, okay, I'll go for the head. Let's check what time is it. It is, okay, we're drawing like 1 hour 15. So actually we are good with time. We can do the colors. The head should go quick. And then we can come back to our face. A little bit here. Yeah, so shadows are important. So not only those, what I was telling, like those, which is the way the line, the shadow is ending. But of course, it's important in its general shape, because shadow shape means volume. Yeah, so if I put a bigger shadow under the nose, means my nose is bigger, and so on. Yeah, so the shadow is not there just, you know, by some accident. It has a very strict and logical explanations. So, and this is why it goes similar or not similar. It's just because of those shadows. All right, the head. Well, I'll start in a classical way from light to dark. So I'm taking some sienna, then some white. We'll do those strokes. And then we have some reddish, greenish, and bluish in there. Also, so feel free maybe to do a bit more, I don't know, a bit more maybe free interpretation of the head, can be sketchy. Yeah, so yeah, and again, those lines, those as usually a bit more bigger somewhere, a bit smaller somewhere, a bit less visible. Yeah, and then a bit more. Okay. And I'll take some orangey. Yeah, so it's also kind of a painting. It's the sculpture, ancient sculpture. So feel free to do those dry brush elements, like, yeah, so it's not perfectly colored, but maybe it feels a bit more. Yeah, and then this element on the head, then you can also see there this story with lights and shadows, and it's basically all this element consists of. So to show it the way it looks, just think about light and shadow, and yeah, where you see the shadow falling, so on, and So of course, this line under the colorful head, that is this kind of pale. So of course, getting those pale colors in paints are not easy. Yeah, of course, you use much more white, like, because they're very, very subtle. Yeah? So yeah, just have it in mind that you might need maybe more time to get this color than, let's say, some other. Okay, I have a feeling going a little bit more into the face. Maybe just very watery, maybe they're just very, very down. But I'm doing now experiments, so maybe don't, like, unless you feel the same, don't follow. But just here on my palette, I got some with this very light orangey color. So then I just show her that she's tanned. Yeah, but then of course it's also a bit, don't lose where those shadows are. Okay, so maybe in the end of it won't be the color pencils, but it's actually a cool technique. So we did this black and white pencil, and then just on top I go with really watery paint. Yeah, when I'm talking on the face. So I'm just giving the just with one color. So I'm not trying. So the shape I did with pencil, but with the brush now I'm just giving a little bit the tone. And so. Yeah, but it can be tricky, it can be not easy. So maybe if you don't feel sure, you don't have to go this path. Yeah, because there it's very, you need to be like fully aware where is your lights and shadows. We can make very nice accent on the lips. That could be cool. Red. Let's make lips a bit bigger. And again, I don't need to make all my lips red. I can make just a bit reddish strokes where the light is. Yeah, and the rest I can actually work with just dark. Okay, I'm making it really complicated. Now I need to get some dark. Okay, then probably, well, okay, some brownish. Otherwise now, yeah, my shadows are getting lost. Yeah, so this is again this tonality. I have added some color to my face, and now the shadow parts, they look more pale than the light parts. And then of course it breaks the thing. So what I do, I will even probably mix a bit of brown with a bit of blue. Yeah, this is a nice mix for shadowing. Yeah, but then again, very like gentle. So yeah, don't over darken again. Yeah, so you see. So then again, maybe it's more about tapping rather than Oh my God, I'm gonna end up really will have all my Nefertiti painted instead of her. Okay, I'll come back. Yeah, so okay, maybe I make just the important parts of this with this dark paint. Let it dry, and then I come back again with a bit of pencil. Ooh, I made her very dark, very dark. Okay, nothing to do, no way back. But I will apply a hue. Darren, was it you sending something?
I sent you something just now before we started doing the bits of a painting. It's just the
Sure.
face, which I've done in, as I said, I've done it in sort of coloured pencils.
Wow, Darren, your skills are improving.
Thank you.
I'm happy. Yeah, let's let the face rest. I mean, let's do the head, so it's part of the drawing, and then we come back and put the accents. Yeah, so you see, mine part like now looks too dark, but this is what I mean, like those accents that, of course, we have main, parts. So like you might make more accent on eyes, of course, make eyes more dark, maybe the especially the eyes, yeah, because this is kind of one of those
Mm.
important, let's say, parts. Yeah, let's move everyone to head. So in your case, Darren, like is usually, yeah, like I did here already, start with those light ones, some these ochre sienna stripes, then move a bit to orangey red boxes, then greenish. Then also this, how you call it, this sign in the middle. It can also be, yeah, the sign again. I can just maybe color it with some sienna and let it rest a bit, and then just add some of those shadows elements, yeah? And then head, maybe you find also some interesting way to make the head look. It's also a bit kind of ancient, yeah, so it's a bit eaten with those if you want, doesn't have to, I mean, it's maybe it's, yeah, but it can look how would be the word, a bit more painfully, you know, so just again, like maybe not doing the photo, but yeah, and then also can analyze. So in this middle thing on the head, yeah, again, where is the darker part of the shadow, where is the lighter, yeah, and then it really helps you to build correctly the form. And so again, somewhere I put a bit more intense blue. Somewhere I let it also fade, yeah. Then again, remember the light is from the right side, so also on the head, this blue will be almost white, yeah, like, and this will help you show that the head has volume, that it's not flat, that it's round. Exactly, if you do this side where all the other side of the face, everything is with the light, and then the rest with darker blue. Yeah, and this is the fun part where you can use those brush strokes. Yeah, so instead of fighting that, yeah, oh, my brush is leaving brush strokes, the opposite, I'm kind of use it. Yeah, so just kind of try to make your head look cool. Yeah, it's already with the face. We have lots of that's easy and so on. So kind of we can pull our drawing out also with these elements as head and some parts. Okay, going something shaping out. Something starts to out. In our experiment. Now a huge experiment, Darren, isn't it?
It is actually, yeah, I quite like it actually.
I agree. It's good
It
to
reminds
change
me-
from our standards.
It reminds me of something I want to try and do some of my photography when I want to try and get something where it's like a nice colourful item in the photograph, like say like a bright umbrella, but turn the rest of the photograph black and white, but just have that sort of one thing popping out. I've done it on a few weddings I've done where I've sort of made the bouquets colour and everyone else is black and white. So it sort of reminds me of that, like with the pencil bit and the paint. It's quite nice.
Oh, interesting, interesting. Yeah. So what, so I've played then of course with this very dark on those eyes and everything. What I do now, I kind of play with a bit like medium brown. Yeah, so I'm trying to regain with this, with the tonality. And so it's already not that dark, and and then what we also need to think, we need to think on the background. Are we doing anything with it? Or are we leaving white? Yeah, so this is a bit. Yeah, because we did lots of important work, and with background, yeah, it's also tricky. One can get ruined a bit. Okay, bit worked too much on my shadow. Yeah, so you can see how much more subtle it is when you try to do the face with paints. This is like very, it just takes time because you really need to get those tonalities right, and yeah, so you can see how all this story with the face is, yeah, getting precision in where all the stuff is living. Yeah, so then the person looks as as this person, and then if you want to make it also then with the colors, then it's studying all this. Yes, Anera, I hope you're doing there good. You're very quiet. Yeah, feel free also to comment if you want, or
I think mine looks more like a man than a woman, to be honest. But
oh, one of the, say again.
I think mine looks more male than female, to be honest. But
What? That's the.
In fact, saying that I can see why in part. And I can
This is interesting. This is good. Then maybe you managed to.
It's a cheekbone.
Yeah. Well, then no one can blame you, Darren, in being politically incorrect. Especially nowadays when all these male and female.
Still not sure that's correct, but.
Is it you, Darren, sending?
Yeah.
Cool. Going to take a look. Mine one is smiling a bit like tricky or something with a like a bit cunning smile, you know, like no, she has something in mind. All right, let's take a look. Also already with the background. Very good. One thing that jumps straight away to my eyes is this white line on the.
Yeah, it's supposed to be gold, but.
I mean, maybe there is. I don't doubt there is this. Maybe some lighter border on the head, but maybe in our artwork we don't need it. Maybe we can just combine background with the blue head.
Yeah. So
it just kind of goes away, and we look more on the face. Huh? Then, wow, but not bad at all, Darren. Yeah. Nice accent on the lips. And let's say also depends how your eyes, let's say, are on this picture. Like generally also the eyes inside can be also a bit more darker, yeah, but I don't really want you to change. This is again your decision or something, but so you see here, and like even I feel even more a bit darkening. So actually I'm not even drawing nothing inside. I just give this feeling of but your eyes, they look good. So that's why I don't really want you make the
I might just leave it then.
Yeah. So they can even maybe, you know, then let's also again analyze a bit this story of tonality. What we have eyebrows, we have eyes, we have shadow under the nose, we have upper lip, we have also chin. Yeah, it also makes a big story in and then of course also this bright shadow on the ear. So the story is how dark or how white is each part of your drawing. Yeah. So is the shadow on the chin, on the neck? Yeah. Does it maybe need a bit to be a bit more also contrasty? So the story about this all is like simply comparing all the time these things. But generally, like, I don't want you to make really black, like I have those, because I feel you actually matched very nicely this tonality. So tonality means comparison. So let's say my tonality are playing together and your ones as well. Yeah, so your chin shade on your chin is that pale, as pale is your shadow on the nose, and as pale is the shadow on the upper lip. Yeah, so if my upper lip would be, your lip would be as dark as mine, and then the rest would be pale, then it would be already a bit contradiction. Yeah, but if you say all my thing is a little bit in it's just more pale drawing, then it's all fine and it's working. And so fancy Dara. I can go to the, definitely. Yeah, I think also maybe the head, maybe so here, of course, then you showed also maybe the light on the right side, but maybe the back of the head can be also darker blue a bit. But maybe, yeah, then just check how the light is falling there. So if it goes from here, it means to the back of the head, the light maybe is not getting, so it's actually a bit more darker. Yeah, and then you have the light there showing again, and it's a bit, and then again, you can actually just fade it out to your background. Yeah, like the more connected it is, so cool. So it's 8 o'clock, and yeah, then of course, I mean, I could work on mine one more and more. Yeah, maybe also we'll do that before bringing it to school. But yeah, so feel free if you need a bit some time to finish on here. If you're all done, then
I think I'll wait for it to dry a tiny bit for that bit on the top of the head there, and I'll finish it off in a minute. Better.
Yeah,
I think I'm done otherwise, I think there.
Cool. Yeah, but was good experience today, wasn't it, Darren?
Definitely, yeah, I like that.
Some a bit spontaneously, but somehow a bit nice change for us. Yeah, so then you can, yeah, because it's very subtle. So then you get really hand on those elements. So imagine then later you'll be painting, let's say, a bird. Yeah, then how detailed you can go. If you manage to do all these stories with the human face, then all the other stuff will be just a piece of cake for Darren. Okay, I'm fighting with this my shadow on the chin. I think I just need to let it rest a bit.
Right. Well, I'm going to leave it very easy, so I will hopefully see you next week.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay next week. So
thank you, Darren, for joining. It was very fun to work today. So yeah, till next week.
Yep. See See you then.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Have a good week.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
week. So Nara, I hope you're good there. Yeah, I will. Yeah, let me know. I will work a bit more, but I feel I will also leave my painting a bit to rest. Maybe I'll come back a bit later because, yeah, there is this tricky part of ruining. So sometimes we just need to leave it, rest, come back in a few hours or next day. Yeah, and yeah, but today you see this was like completely not our usual, very, it's just because I need to bring the Nefertiti painting to school. So I said, oh, let's go, guys, let's paint. And yeah, so, yeah, so later feel free to share. I think it's also your mom is also in this common chat. So then of course you can see also how Darren did today. And feel free to drop your result, and both I can also comment on it. And but yeah, I remind you, face is very complicated. It needs lots of practice, and we've started like so complicated at once. So yeah, and I think I will leave mine one without the background for now, and then really don't feel too, yeah. I think maybe it looks also nice and subtle with the white there. Yeah, but I hope you got this general also idea how all this painting of portraits works. Again, not easy at all, but it's good to try, good to experiment. No one makes you to be the portrait painter in the future. Yeah, lots of painters, they say those painters who are good at landscapes, very often they're not good at all with painting people. Yeah, and then often they or just don't pay them. When there was some, like, let's say, they say, okay, I paint the landscape. They ask some other painter to do the humans if it's needed. And but of course it's good to try, yeah, because some people the opposite, then they position themselves as the So now maybe it feels a bit like all the efforts I did with my pencil drawing is kind of gone because I did all with the paints on top. But yeah, no, nevertheless, I mean, I could have left it, of course, just with a pencil. But still, of course, it helps. It's a very good training to do all these lights and shadows and okay, I need to stop, otherwise I am ruining. All right. So I'll take the tape off, especially here where the head is. Now it looks better. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Okay, one little touch up. Because I did it now, it feels a little bit as if she's crying. Yeah, you see how very little elements, like I just wanted to make a bit more shadow under the eyes, but it was a bit too dark than it's needed to be. And then it already kind of jumps out. Yeah, so just lower a bit the top. Perfect, a bit more better. Oh, yeah, this correcting can go for long. All right. Not. It's like want to stop, but then you see some part, and then if you want to do some little shadow more and more. Right. Cool. Then my shadow under the nose is a bit too dark, maybe. Yeah. So never help me to stop. Oh, goodness. Reading. All right. No more for today. I will try to improve it a bit. Tomorrow in the morning. Or in afternoon. Yes. All right, Sanara, see you next Saturday. No idea what I'm gonna be painting. Yeah, but how was your doing? Maybe you can show me on screen. I'll stop the recording.